Welcome to today's Explainer. It's wild, but studies actually show we spend over a third of our waking hours just looking at screens, kind of avoiding the real world. Okay, let's dive into this. We're looking at a genuinely fascinating breakdown of 10 specific things everyone should learn to do alone. But as you'll see, this isn't just some random list of life hacks. It actually forms a complete structural roadmap for mental resilience and true independence. It fundamentally challenges how we interact with ourselves and the world around us. So if you've ever felt stuck or maybe overwhelmed by all that external noise, or overly dependent on the validation of others, well, this framework is exactly what you need. I want you to really think about that for a second. When was the last time you sat in absolute, total silence? No background music, no TV, and most importantly, no phone in your hand. Let's be real, most of us don't pull out our phones because we actually need to check something vital. We use them because we have completely forgotten how to just sit with boredom. It's like we treat a silent room as if it's a literal threat to our survival. We use all these distractions to avoid the subtle discomfort of silence and our own unfiltered thoughts. And this brings us to a really foundational truth. Being alone does not have to mean being lonely. Learning to genuinely enjoy your own company is step one. Think about taking yourself out for a nice meal, or going for a walk, or even watching a movie entirely by yourself. If you can't enjoy your own company, you're inevitably always going to depend on other people to feel happy. Learning to be alone is, honestly, the only time you can finally hear your own thoughts and figure out who you really are, completely free from anyone else's influence. Let's move to and see how this builds into our four-part framework. First, embracing true solitude. Second, building internal trust. Third, navigating external forces. And finally, taking ultimate control. Starting off with phase one, embracing true solitude, finding peace in your own company. This phase is all about deliberately slowing things down. It's about intentionally disconnecting from the absolute relentless noise of the modern world so you can finally tune in to your own frequency. To achieve this, the source material suggests a super powerful exercise. Try spending exactly one day without consuming anything on your phone. Just one day. Sounds incredibly simple, right? Well, until you start getting that phantom vibration syndrome like an hour in. But pushing through that 24-hour period of no scrolling, no notifications, and no constant dopamine hits, it actively teaches you patience. It forces self-control. It strips away those digital crutches and leaves you with just you. And that leads directly to this realization. Real freedom begins when you stop needing constant distraction just to feel okay. The moment you become genuinely comfortable with silence, the modern world's noise totally loses its grip on you. That is ultimate liberation. You are no longer running away from yourself. Moving right into phase two, building internal trust, mastering the self through action. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast between our natural instincts and reality. Once we're comfortable alone, it's about proving to ourselves that we are reliable. We often think that talking about our goals feels productive, right? But seeking validation by sharing your plans gives your brain a totally false sense of achievement. Every compliment gives you a little taste of success before you've actually earned it, and that weakens your drive. The counterintuitive habit here is to keep your biggest goals private. By choosing action over validation, you preserve your energy and your momentum to actually get the work done. This leads directly to the power of one. Doing exactly one hard thing every single day before you even feel ready. You see, confidence isn't built by staying comfortable. It's built every single time you prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort. Whether it's making a really tough phone call, finishing a grueling workout, or just starting that daunting project. The hardest part is almost always just getting started. But the second you take that first step, momentum completely takes over. This highlights an absolutely critical distinction: positive thinking versus taking action. We hear all the time that self-confidence comes from positive thinking, but actually, scratch that, it doesn't. It's built entirely by trust. Your brain doesn't judge you by your good intentions, it judges you by your actions. If you break the promises you make to yourself, you lose that internal trust. You literally have to do what you said you were going to do. If you can't respect your own words, you are never truly going to believe in yourself. All right, jumping to phase three, navigating external forces, how we react to the world around us. Now that your internal foundation is strong, we have to look outward at how you react to the world, and more importantly, how you protect your peace against external pressures. When someone points out a mistake, our immediate reaction is almost always to protect our ego, right? Making excuses, blaming circumstances, finding literally any acceptable reason for the failure. And this brilliantly illustrates how defending your mistakes just protects the very problem that's holding you back. Instead, we need self-awareness. You must learn to watch your own mistakes without defending yourself. Face them, learn from them, because you simply cannot fix what you refused to face. Navigating external forces also means taking a really hard look at your circle. We all have that one energy vampire in our lives. You have to learn to let go of people who no longer belong in your life. If someone doesn't respect you, doesn't support you, or just costs you your mental peace, holding on to them doesn't save the relationship. It just stops you from moving forward. You've got to stop chasing people who have chosen to walk away. Let them go, even if it hurts, because keeping them around might be the exact reason you're stuck. And as you make these tough choices, you must accept a simple fact. Not everyone is going to understand you. Someone will always question your choices or criticize your path, and that's completely normal. If you spend your entire life trying to be understood and validated by everyone else, you'll eventually lose yourself. So stop trying to convince them. Let your results explain what your words never could. Bringing us to the final stage, Phase 4, taking ultimate control. The paradigm shift for your future. This is where solitude, internal trust, and external boundaries all fuse together into the ultimate evolution of self-reliance. If your default action is constantly looking backward or blaming others, the inevitable result is that you'll simply repeat the exact same life and lose control of your future. You have to learn to start over without looking back. Starting over is not a failure. Refusing to let your past decide your future is a massive victory. The longer you keep looking back, the harder it is to move forward. So the crucial point is this. No one is coming to save you. I know, it sounds harsh, but it's actually the most deeply empowering truth you can internalize. Life won't always be fair, opportunities will be missed, people will let you down, but absolutely none of that changes what you have to do next. You must stop blaming your past and your circumstances. You have to take full responsibility for your life. Take absolute ownership of your choices, your failures, and your future. The exact moment you accept that no one is coming to save you is the exact moment you finally take total control of your life. It's a fundamental shift from being a passenger in your own circumstances to being the absolute driver of your destiny. I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you today. Look at your life, your habits, and your current challenges. What will you choose to take full responsibility for today? Whether it's putting down the phone to embrace a little silence, keeping a promise to yourself, or finally letting go of an excuse you've been clinging to. The roadmap is in your hands. It's time to take action. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time as we continue to break down the ideas that shape our world.